Right, here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Hey guys, welcome back to the other side of the coin. How's everyone doing? It's been a pretty good weekend, and I would like to know how your weekend is going. It is Sunday morning, 5:40 a.m. here in Sydney. I'm an early bird. I love waking up early, and yeah, it's been a pretty good weekend. And obviously, we look forward to the last Premier League game of the season coming up. And but obviously we've done the preview. Just if you guys missed on the preview, we did the preview yesterday actually, straight after the press conference. So do check that out if you've missed out on that. I just thought that maybe it'll be nice to do a live call-in show, guys. Check out the pinned message for the link if you want to join in for the live call-in today. We've got Soccer Turtle here. Thank you so much for joining, my man. Glad I can join a stream. That's fantastic. We've got Oliver Townsend. Thank you for joining from Jamaica, my man. Thank you so much. We've got people all over the world. Already quite a few people that have joined in the live call-in, and I'm going to bring them in one by one. Just before I bring people in, just be mindful, please, guys, that be respectful in the conversation. I don't like my channel to be a channel where, you know, I promote swearing or anything like that, or slandering of players. So be mindful about that. I enjoy bringing you guys in, but yeah, obviously, always be mindful about that. All right, I'm going to start bringing people in. We've got here Yomi. We've got here Ankilesh. We've got here Sid back again. Boys, firstly, before I get to know you guys a little bit better, just want to put out the topic. The things we want to talk about is obviously Declan Rice interest has come out fresh earlier today from Matt Law, reporting an article that Chelsea's not lost interest. We'll talk about that. A few people want to talk about Tchouaméni as well. I hope I pronounced that right. It's very difficult to pronounce. So we'll talk about that link as well. And I do want to talk about Azpilicueta and the future, because it seems like he's not the right centre-back anymore and he's the right wing-back, and I'm not sure whether he's a future right wing-back for us. And want to talk about Reece James, whether Thomas Tuchel actually wants him to be, you know, a wing-back at all, or his future is in the right centre-back position. So we'll talk about that. And, of course, we'll talk about Luis Suarez, Atletico Madrid winning the La Liga. So we'll get to all of that. A lot of people have joined in into the live comments. Thank you so much. If you want to join in today in the conversation, the pin message is there. First of all, Yomi, my man, how you doing?
Bro, you good?
Brilliant. So you're from Sweden, yeah, Yomi?
Yeah, bro. So yeah,
that's awesome, man. So yeah. Let's start talking about the Declan Rice interest. I think that'll be very interesting to start with. What's your thoughts on this particular news coming up again? Matt Law saying that Chelsea's not lost any interest on Declan Rice.
Yeah, I think Declan Rice signing is the club signing, not the manager signing. I think. I think like the club like wants, you know, they wanted to get the guy back for a long time, and Frank Lampard was just like the bait because he's an English player, you know, an English coach also. So and also I think the club will also try to talk to Tuchel, you know, maybe like someone to release the load out of Jorginho, you know, Jorginho and Kova, and someone to get and sit back, someone that is also younger, you know.
Yeah.
So and the club is also looking for a long time person, and I think Tuchel is also kind of a fan of him because he probably might want to do the same thing. What's it called? This guy does in PSG when he was with like Verratti. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I think about also. So.
Oh, fair enough, man. Ankilesh, I'll bring you in now. Your thoughts on Declan Rice? I mean, is this the kind of player that you want in Chelsea? His price is quite hefty as well, but let's be honest, I think he's a very, very good player in the Premier League. He's now very well experienced. He's the captain of West Ham. Ankilesh, what do you think about Declan Rice?
Actually, the thing is that Chelsea is a old player, and the Chelsea is really monitoring at this stage. And if Tuchel is very interested, I think the Fabrizio Romano, I have heard the one of his podcasts saying that Tuchel is very close with the Marina, and they don't have any issue for signing a player if it is like a common interest. And now, like there is a proper chance that we will do a swap deal and give Tammy and plus cash, as they need money right now. So I think it is on the cards. We will surely have like Declan Rice on our back next season.
And I suppose the whole swap deal, Ankilesh, it kind of works out for both the teams. I mean, look, they will lose Declan Rice, which is a massive loss if they are to sell him to us. But at the same time, they get a very good striker with Tammy Abraham, I believe, and I feel like he'll flourish over there. And with the money that they're going to get, I'm sure they can be able to replace, quite heavily. Maybe even get 2-3 players with that money and make sure that they're strong in defensive midfield. They've still got Soucek, who's a very good player for them in the defensive midfield area. So do you think it's sort of like a win-win situation for both teams?
Yeah, I think so, because the case is that Chelsea will try to swap also to like Tammy and push like a Barkley on the cards, but I think West Ham will go with money, and they will surely gonna ask Tammy plus cash. I think it will be the proper thing, and I think Chelsea will also do the same, because I think Tuchel is not interested with the Tammy anymore, and so if it is in the cards, for surely it will happen.
Oh, fair enough. Let's bring in Sid. Sid, what's your thoughts on this particular interest? I thought personally that maybe once Frank Lampard was sort of sacked, that maybe this interest sort of goes. I really thought it was a Frank Lampard interest, but it looks like there are certain people within Chelsea hierarchy still very much interested with Declan Rice, and Thomas Tuchel seems like he's quite impressed with Declan Rice as well. So your thoughts on the matter?
One thing that Tuchel like to invest in the local league first, and then he looks outside. I think Declan Rice is possible with a Tammy swap, but Tchouaméni is also a good option with some less spending, I guess.
Yeah. Tchouaméni is a bit of a shout as well. Let's talk a little bit about Tchouaméni actually. Meanwhile, Yomi, have you seen much of Tchouaméni? Because I've not really followed him, but he's won the League Young Player of the Year award, which is that's a very decent shout. So how much do you know about that player?
I don't really know about the player, to be honest. I don't really know about the player, but I just feel like any player that comes from the League One side, I always think, especially if it's a midfielder, it gives me the Bakayoko vibes, like someone. Yeah,
and know what? He's from Monaco as well. He's from Monaco.
Exactly. So these are the guys that flourishes 1-2 seasons and come to become bench warmers or come to become flops. They become like lone armies. Like let's leave Tuchel to do what he wants. Like the boy should not be looking for long-term players. No, we got the long-term players in our academy. So I think if Tuchel says he wants it, then fine by him. But I have a feeling that he's like a Bakayoko vibe player. That's what I think about the guy.
Yeah, nah, fair enough, man. I mean, look, he's young. Maybe he needs to play a few more seasons in Liga before we can consider him. I think he's a top talent. Apparently, that's what everyone's been saying. I personally haven't seen. I'll bring in Koi. Koi, a newbie, has come in. Koi, first of all, talk to me about the Declan Rice interest for Chelsea. Obviously, Matt Law writing all of that article that Chelsea are still interested with Declan Rice, and Thomas Tuchel fancies him as well. I mean, for you, is Declan Rice the kind of a DM that you think Chelsea needs, or what about the interest that we're showing towards Tchouaméni as well?
To be honest, I believe Declan Rice is a fantastic player. My issues with the price and the stories going around that we have to combine, let's say, Tammy Abraham plus £50 million and all that for Rice, that is way too much. Great player, adds up to the heights in the team. He's a leader. He knows the Premier League, and he's crazy about Chelsea. That's one thing that we'll get.
Mason Mount's best friend as well. Mason Mount's best friend.
Exactly. He will play his heart out for Chelsea. That's one thing I also consider. As compared to bringing in this Monaco talents, who may or may not succeed in the Premier League, may need a season or two, which I don't know if in Chelsea he'll get that. In Chelsea, I'm not sure we get that 2 years grace period for him. So and you only have excuses like I don't know. I'll prefer Rice, but his price, that's my issue. 80 million is for Rice is way too much.
What do you think about that player swap though, Koi? Apparently we think about Tammy Abraham and some cash.
So and you only have excuses.
Go on, Koi.
Okay, so that basically, because I look at Jorginho, for instance, most of the time he's in positions where he could shoot from the back. I'm like, right now I'm missing Lampard, I'm missing Essien, who could shoot from the back. And Declan Rice has a shooting, long-range ability on him. And then when it comes to the aerial threats, like he's good in the air too, so he adds up to the Chelsea midfield because it looks like our team, we have a lot of short players in the team. I remember Tuchel spoke about playing Alonso just because of his aerial ability, because of the team we were facing. So Rice adds up to the leadership. He contributes aerially, commanding. See, Kante is great, but as a lone pivot, Kante is not that type of person who will be like,
he's not a lone DM. Yeah, Kante is not a lone DM.
Don't move here. He moves, and he needs someone to stay back for him. So if, for instance, this match, I think it was against Leicester City. The chance that they got that with Tielemans shooting from the back, I realized Kante had already moved forward. It was left with Jorginho. And I'm imagining if it was a Declan Rice with better defensive awareness and positioning. That shot
he'd be a lot closer. He'd be a lot closer to Tielemans, probably.
Exactly. He would read the pattern of and most likely intercepts. And we don't have to blame Kepa for that goal and all that. So, and his passing range too is good. It's good. So, and he can improve. He can improve. He's a young kid. He can improve and get better.
100%.
But it's the price that worries me. It's just the price.
The price is the issue. I want to just quickly check this particular super chat. Someone, thank you so much, my man, for this super chat. Signing Declan Rice is the sort of profile we needed. Look, I'm not going to lie. Declan Rice is a very, very good player. As many are saying, it's the price. But Ishan, I'll bring you in now. There's some talks that, as I said, it could be a player plus cash sort of situation to bring in Declan Rice. Maybe we send Tammy over there, which I feel is a bit of a win-win situation for West Ham. They probably need a very good striker at the moment. I mean, Antonio is very good, but Antonio could be very lethal with someone like Tammy Abraham up front. And I'm pretty sure the money that they're going to get, they can easily, replace and get someone for Declan Rice. Souček is still doing very well over there as well. So what's your thoughts, man, about Declan Rice? Are you keen on Declan Rice for Chelsea? Thomas Tuchel apparently is interested. But do you think there are other players out there? Yeah, Arman, I think, recently just put out another player, which I have no idea about. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this player. Coupe Menez from Eredivisie. I don't really know, but talk to me, man. Ishan, what's your thoughts about this particular transfer news?
Declan Rice, as we all know, he's a Chelsea Academy product. He's a Cobham boy. I think so. It's highly unlikely for me to see Roman Abramovich bring back someone who he has sold from academy. He's not going to cost very small amount. I think so. He'll be way above there, 70, 80 plus.
David Moyes once said that he's at least 100 million player. So
at least 100, yeah. Yeah, I've heard that, at least 100. So I don't think so that Chelsea would be giving them 100 million to bring back a Cobham boy, But then, yes, I see what Chelsea is planning right now. They're trying to grab a defensive midfielder, holding midfielder. I think so. The plan for the next season is going to be such that Chelsea are going back for a back four, and they'll have a holding midfielder. That's why a holding midfielder is so important. I think so. That's why they're aiming for a holding midfielder. We can see that in when Thomas Tuchel was in PSG, he had those two proper holding midfielder with the likes of Verratti being one of them. So I think so that's what he's planning for the next season, having a proper holding midfielder so that he can switch back to a back four and have a holding midfielder and then have one man extra for that attacking purpose. So I think so. Yes, Declan Rice is a good option, but then again, if you're talking about Tammy Abraham as an exchange player plus cash deal. I've heard the same thing with Harry Kane. Recently the rumors are Tammy plus Kepa plus cash, and will get
plus
Harry
cash,
Kane.
plus Emerson, plus the lot,
Plus-
the half of Chelsea team.
Yeah, I mean, what is happening? It's really confusing. But then, yes, Kane, like I said in your previous live chat again, Harry Kane is quite highly unlikely. Declan Rice is possible, but it'll be very interesting to see if Chelsea brings back a Cobham guy, that too so early. Lukaku is another example, but then Lukaku has been through a lot. He's been there in United. He's been there. He's proved there in United. He's proved there in Inter Milan. He's a proven striker. But Declan Rice is something Chelsea would like to think about twice, thrice before going to the deal. And it'll be very interesting to see how the deal unfolds. It won't be very cheap. We all know that. It'll be very interesting. Yes, Declan Rice is a good midfielder, Mason Mount's bestie, and I think so. It'll be a good one having him there. But then, as of now, I think so. It's highly unlikely. But then let's see what happens in future.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that easy, man. West Ham's not going to let go of their captain. And let's face it, West Ham is probably going to make it to the Europa League. So, they probably would want to keep all their players. Manny Soccer Turtle, I want to bring you in, my man. But before I get you in, I just want to quickly read this super chat. Thank you so much, Alex, for the super chat and supporting this channel. And for everyone that supports the channel, thank you so much all the time. We are just not talking enough about left back, left wing back position. After the striker vacuum, that is one position we desperately need someone, since Emerson and Marcos might leave. Even if Marcos stays, he isn't good. We will talk. We'll talk about that. Today is a live show. We'll talk about everything, but we'll get to the topics that we want to talk about, and then we'll come back to this, Alex, for sure, because I do want to talk about Azpilicueta, and then maybe we can talk about the left wing back as well. But Manny Soccer Turtle, well, what's your thoughts on Declan Rice interest with Chelsea? Are you keen, or are you looking at someone like Tchouaméni or any other sort of defensive midfielders out there that you fancy? Let us know how you feel.
Hello, Miz. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, my man. You there, Manny?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, it's acting up. I would love Declan Rice to come to Chelsea. It would be a great option for us in the midfield. I think him and Mason Mount can have this amazing combination, because we know they're best friends and all, and from the youth academy, and I think it would create something special there, and we can.
Oh, I think he's dropped off. All right, we'll hopefully he comes back. I'll get Azpi buying into this. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. Is it Bian or Bian?
Yeah, it's actually RCBN Chelsea Fan TV. So, hi guys. First of all, Miz, big up to you, big fan here. And thanks for having me in. Yeah, so RCB is basically a cricket franchise in India, which is very popular. I'm basically from Bangalore, and yes, of course, here for Chelsea. So
Royal Challengers Bangalore, right? Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Yes. You got that one. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so I'm actually in Canada, but currently in Bangalore. So yeah, it's kind of mixed. So having said that, it's a great discussion. So the way I see it, it's kind of going back, we bought back Nemanja Matic after he had spent a couple of years in Benfica. And although we had sold, he was a defensive midfielder. He was actually an attacking midfielder, turned into a defensive midfielder by the Benfica coach, came back. I actually see Declan Rice that way. He's actually matured as a player all around. So I actually don't see Abramovich, saying no to that transfer. If at all, of course, it's over 100 million, which, David Moyes insists that Declan Rice is. So here's where the English members of the Chelsea team, could possibly help, with, of course, Mason Mount being his buddy, Reece James, Ben Chilwell. I'm sure they can kind of work it out. And Declan Rice, of course, has to, be vocal and, ask for a transfer as Kane has asked. He loved West Ham, but he loves Chelsea more even. That's the way I see it. So, and even in terms of performances, right? I think even after Kante, if I'm not wrong, a pure central defensive midfielder, I would probably rate Declan Rice in the league today, if you ask me. So, plus he has goals in him, and that's something that we lack. So I would say, if we are able to afford him, go for him for sure.
Yeah, man. The thing that I like about this whole situation is, one, Declan Rice is an experienced Premier League player. He's had now quite a few seasons. He's the captain of West Ham, so that brings leadership as well. It's not like we don't have leadership, but that's another leader for the future. As you said, he's a very combative player. He can play the lone DM. He's very physical. He's got the energy to basically run all day long. He's got goals as well. Not as many as you'd like, but as a lone DM, goals is not the biggest importance. It's more defensively you need to be solid. And yeah, he's a Cobham fellow. Do you know what I mean? Like he's been raised in Chelsea, so and he wants to come back, and he wants to reunite with some of his Chelsea mates.
Proper Chelsea.
Yeah, proper Chelsea, man, proper Chelsea code. That's it. So it all makes sense, and I'm pretty sure Thomas Tuchel will see all of that and think that it fits the bill. It really fits the bill. There are obviously other options, and I think they may become secondary options down the track. I think Chelsea will, especially now with the whole player and cash, I think that makes it a lot more easier to negotiate. But let's see what happens, what West Ham does. I don't think West Ham's going to give in that easily. It may be a drawn-out transfer saga. West Ham is not going to give their best player to Chelsea, who's a rival, so easily, knowing that this season West Ham actually did very well. They could possibly come fifth in the table, just behind us, or a couple of positions behind us. So that's a little bit about that, guys. Let's talk about, before I talk about the next topic, some really nice comments coming out. I just want to quickly touch on that. We've got here Ishraq saying, sorry, not the topic right now, but Mark Geehee just got the Man of the Match award for the second leg of the playoff semi, as well as the first. You think he'll be getting recalled next season? Honestly, we should talk about this. Probably not this particular show, but we will talk about this another show. So that probably means Swansea's in the playoff final, I believe. Then I think they'll probably be in the final. Yeah. Guys, let's now talk about this other topic, which I want to hear what you all have to say. I'll start with Yomi. Yomi, Azpilicueta's future looks like he's now not really the right centre-back anymore. He's now playing in the wing because Thomas Tuchel really wants him in the team. He's the club captain. He wants the captain to play. But I feel like in the future, he can't be the long-term right wing-back. He really isn't. I mean, he won't have the legs to run up and down all day long. Looks like Thomas Tuchel probably doesn't trust him enough in the right centre-back position because maybe he's not quick enough. Defensively, he's still solid, but maybe he's just not quick enough. So I definitely want to talk about Azpilicueta and the future of that if we continue with three at the back. And then we'll talk about Reece James. But let's talk about Azpilicueta first up, Yomi. What do you think, man? If we continue with three at the back, do you think Azpilicueta will be the right wing back next season?
Yeah, it depends on what Tuchel wants to do. Moreover, Azpi playing as the right centre back doesn't mean that he's not fast enough or he's not good enough. He's the captain of the club, and Tuchel has a lot of trust in him. But Tuchel said that when it comes to height, Azpi is lacking in height, and he implemented the system as Azpi playing the wing back against West Ham. If I'm correct, because of the height. And because of West Ham set pieces, West Ham are very, very good in set pieces, and he did the same thing against Real Madrid. So, as we playing the right wing back, it means that he's bringing a taller centre back at the right centre back. So he wants the three centre backs to be able to deal with set pieces, with corners, with free kicks, and everything. So, Azpi is someone that is Mr. Reliable, I think. So, and if we continue with what's it called? If we continue with the three at the back, I don't mind him playing as right wing back. Just give me just give me what I want, and I think Azpi is the club, and Azpi dies for the club. So yeah, I think he loves the club so much, and he's the one that runs out all his energy for the club, and he's someone that's going to work 90 minutes without stopping. So yeah,
that's true.
It can be on the bench sometimes because of this age, but when he's there, he plays it out for Chelsea, and yeah, that's what I think.
Fair point. Let's get some of the newbies in. Devang, what's your thoughts, man? Long-term future for Azpilicueta if we continue with three at the back, or even four. Let's say we switch back to four at the back. I mean, do you see Azpilicueta playing more role as he has seen this season, or less and more of a sort of rotational player, in the upcoming season?
Miz, I think Azpi will play for 2 more years, and he will play regularly because Tuchel has given importance to our captain. You see, he also told before that captain is the most important part of the playing 11. So I think he will play for 2 more years and regularly.
Fair enough. That's very straightforward. He's going to play for 2 more years and regularly, no problem. Ryan, I want to hear your tactical side of things. First of all, shout out to Ryan, my man. If you guys haven't followed him on Twitter, and also everyone over here, if you haven't followed, obviously I'll get to you guys and then mention your Twitter handle so people can follow. Ryan, my man, it's really good to have you here. What's your thoughts? Because I've been really thinking about this, that the tactical change that Thomas Tuchel has made with Azpilicueta being in the right wing back, it feels like he doesn't completely think, Azpi is great against the, let's say, top wingers out there in the right centre back position. I completely understand what Yomi said, that, Azpi is still the club captain. He gives, and we've said it, he generally gives 7.5, 7 out of 10 performance almost every game. He's always providing something. But down the track, I feel like I don't think he could be a right wing back in a long run for us. So how do you see that situation panning out next season?
I think that over the past 3 months, we saw like an evolution of that three at the back. Before we had Azpi at right centre back, and I think mainly we're trying to integrate. I don't think Reece James is going to be right centre back permanently. I mean, I could be proven wrong tomorrow. I think that was just for Jamie Vardy. I think that.
Do you think so? I feel like it might just be RJ from here on in the right centre back.
I was watching a lot of Inter Milan. I was watching a lot of football with this formation, and I realized that they love to have 3 pure centre backs in that back 3, because before when Tuchel now came, we always saw that our 2 wing backs used to go up at the same time, making a front 5. But now we've seen that we have a kind of transition where one fullback overlaps and next one stays back. So if we have 3 fullbacks now, 3 centre backs, pure centre backs, it allows us to get into back 4. So if Reece James is at RCB and we go back to a back 4, when, for example, Chilwell overlaps and then Rudiger goes as left back and then this guy goes as centre back, then we'll have Reece James or Azpi as right centre back in a back 4, and you don't want them there because aerially they could get dominated there. That's why Christensen works so good as our right centre back in a back 3, because when Chilwell overlaps and we tuck back into a back 4, then it'll be perfect to have Christensen there. And I think that, just because Christensen was out for a couple of games, don't forget what a shift he put in against Real Madrid and what a different dimension he brings to our team. I think that I think Reece James could be a really good inverted wing back. Wing back, inverted wing back, instead of overlapping, and we could have him dominate that midfield area and get into inverted positions where he could shoot and he could also cross. It brings a whole different dimension to our game. So yeah, that's what I think about that. Azpilicueta though, I'm not really a fan of replacing a player who does so well in the first game of the next season. I like for continuity, and Azpi has done so well this season that I want him to start in our team next season, and then if he doesn't perform, then we could start replacing him. But this team has gotten us so far, and put people in our starting lineup who has performed so good and replace them. I think it's an injustice right now because we're in a Champions League final. And I think that they could always improve. Age is just a thing. Like Ashley Young, look at him. I was watching a lot of him. And I saw someone who's talking about left back and left wing back positions. That guy knew that system so well. I was in awe watching him when I watched Inter Milan. And yeah, it's just to show, man.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Look at this panel. Oh my days, we have a football team right here. We could just rock up against Aston Villa. I say let us play Aston Villa tomorrow. This is amazing. This is what I love about the live call-in. I can get all you guys in and we can have a conversation. I feel like every fan deserves to have a voice. And I'm loving this in this channel right now. So first of all, smash the like button, everyone, if you're enjoying this. And as I said, the pin message allows you to join here today. Jules, my man, you're here. I need to talk to you. You're on mute, by the way. I actually had you on mute. So unmute yourself. First of all, Jules, for everyone, I always call Jules the Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank of this channel. He reminds me of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Jules, what do you think about Azpilicueta's future, my man? You think next season, obviously this season he'll continue on. There's only 2 more games. I think we won the captain, but if we continue with the 3 or even with the 4, I feel like his position could be in bit of a concern in the future. What do you think?
I mean, the reality is that he's obviously getting older, so with time we will replace him anyway. So I do think he will be here for the next 2 seasons, that's for sure. He is the captain, and you want him there, and you want all those other young players to actually study from him. And if we play 3-5-2 like we continue to do, there will be a rotation. I think sometimes you'll probably be a part of the 3 center backs, and in some cases you probably go on the right wing, isn't it? That's because I think I mentioned this before. The thing is, Kante bumps forward a lot, right? And what you want is an experienced defender who's also able to go forward. I mean, Azpi has given us goals in the past, right? If you remember that game against Burnley, he bumped forward and he would go.
And he does that. Produces assists as well. And he does assists as well.
Yeah, I think sometimes Reece, maybe it's down to experience. Reece is really good defensively. Technically, he's supposed to be good offensively, but he tends to pass the ball back a lot. Maybe it's just me that have observed this, but he does it more often than an Azpi would do because he's played much longer. He has a better sense of anticipation.
Very true.
And I think he'll be able to read the game when Kante bumps forward and goes like, okay, maybe I should shift into the middle a little bit to cover Kante until he comes back. I mean, Kante runs a lot, but I mean, he's not an engine, let's be real. Sometimes he might not be able to come back as quickly. But I do see Azpi staying there for the long haul because let's not forget, it's not just the fact that he plays quite well. Kids can learn from they're not really kids, but people can learn from him.
He's a role model. He's a role model. He's a role model.
Yeah, he is a role model for the other players. So he will be there for a while. Even if we switch to 4-4-2, maybe he will rotate. It will be between him and then sometimes James. Because like he is that good. And you want such a person there. I mean, I think Di Matteo just mentioned it once. He goes like, he's one of the most professional players that you get in the Chelsea team. So yeah, that's 100%. One player I don't want to get rid of under any circumstances.
No, 100%, man. He's a very professional individual, and it's always a beneficial factor for us to keep him. I do want to slowly take a few people off here. Yummy, thank you so much for your time, my man. I do want to take you off here because other people are trying to join in. So thank you so much for your time, Yummy, man. Please join us again next time. So I'll see you around. So let me just see if I can bring more people in. Just hang in there, guys. I'll start bringing other people in. Sid, I'll get your thoughts on Azpilicueta, and then hopefully I can get someone else in as well. What do you think, Azpi, to stay for a couple of more seasons and then let him go? What's your thoughts, Sid?
Yes, he's a role model, as man said. And I think he's a good right centre back with his defensive capabilities. And he's also a right wing back when we have to defend. There are some teams which are going to attack. And in that situation, he covered Hazard also in that Real Madrid game and also stopped Mendy from that side, I guess.
Yeah, I have to agree. There's still a lot of good quality left. Sid, thank you so much for your time, my man. Please join us again next time, yeah?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see if we can start slowly bringing in a few other people. Koi, I do want to hear, let's talk a little bit about Reece James because I think Jules mentioned something very important here. Before I do that, Ben's trying to join. All right, we'll wait to see what Ben does. But yeah, Koi, I think it's a very good point, Jules, and I wanted to bring this particular point in. Thomas Tuchel recently said that he's made the switch between Reece James and Azpilicueta because he thinks Azpi is far more adventurous going forward and Reece is a little bit more defensively, compact. It's not that Azpi isn't, but he thinks Reece is more defensively compact. do you feel in the future that, I don't know, because it feels like sometimes, as Jules said, that Reece doesn't believe in himself to go forward. He tends to pass backwards. Against Man City, I feel like the instruction was given to him to go at Mendy, and finally he went at him. I think he's fantastic with his crosses. I think he can take long shots as well. He's got the attacking capabilities. But it's like he doesn't really trust himself to go forward and really devastate. How do you feel about Reece James in the right sort of flank area?
Well, I believe I think the other guy was saying, it's due to inexperience sometimes. Because I know Reece is a good dribbler. I remember when Lampard introduced him to the team, he was dribbling through the pressure of the opposition and all that. But it's probably down to inexperience, and probably he doesn't want to lose his position. More or less like Odoi. Odoi right now doesn't attempt so many dribbles as he used to, because probably he's afraid if it doesn't work out or something, next match he'll be benched or something. But I know as he plays more, he'll gain more confidence, more experience, and in time, he'll express himself way better. Like how Mount is expressing himself. So I think with time, he'll get it. It's a learning curve. We can't force it. He will gradually get there. So we just have to be patient with him. But Reece,
I like that, man. I really like that point, man. Very, very, very calm and very... Yeah, go on, Jules.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what he said. I think it's probably something very similar to what was happening getting to the end of Lampard's reign, when nobody was being extra adventurous enough. You notice that as soon as Tuchel came in, you notice that Kovacic was driven much more than he used to. Jorginho was doing much more moves than he used to. What's happening is sometimes when there's not a real fix, if you don't feel like the coach trusts you enough, you just play it safe all the time. And I feel like that's what Reece is doing at the moment. And it will take time. But when Tuchel has what you call a pre-season and he gets to assess all the players, then you have a bit more confidence to do what you do best, and you're not so much afraid of making a mistake. But I think that's really happening with a lot of the players. They feel a bit more released. But even when Callum comes in, he doesn't do most of the dribbles, because you miss it 3 times, fans get on you, you lose your place. And then you're like, okay, what do I do again? So I think that's what's really happening. Mason has really overcome it, but the rest of them, like, Tammy it didn't work out. I think he's going to leave. But with Reece and others, eventually they will come good, because Reece can shoot. He can dribble and he can make good crosses. And now he's just playing it too safe. And he looks ordinary rather than the extraordinary player that was at Wigan, or the player that can actually shoot from long range, which he used to do at the beginning of the reign under Lampard. So I think Coy, you have a good point there. And that's what's really happening.
I think Coy definitely put a very good point there in regards to confidence. I think next season under Thomas Tuchel, once he gets even more confident season in, season out, we're going to see a better performance. Coy, thank you so much for your time. I do have to let you go because there's so many other people lined up to join today. My man, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully I'll see you again, Coy. Yeah?
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
Take care.
I really appreciate this.
Yeah, and I'll leave us one and let the others also come in. Yeah, everybody.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Jules. I'll go to Undercover because he's just come in, and then I'll see what Undercover has to say as well. Undercover, what's your thoughts on the matter with Azpilicueta? Do you want him to stay for a few more seasons, or you do want to start looking at maybe a right wing back or a right back? And Tino Livramento, maybe we need to talk about Tino Livramento. He's been the young player of the season for the youth academy, and obviously Reece James. The confidence factor. What's your thoughts about the whole situation on the right side?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear, my man.
I think you have to keep Azpi for the leadership and the experience he brings to the team. Personally.
Fair point. Very straightforward. You have to keep him for the leadership. I like that. But what about the overall game though on the right side? Do you think next season Azpi can play game in, game out, whether it be in the right centre back position or the right wing back position, or do you think he becomes like a sort of rotational player?
No, I don't think he plays week in, week out. But I still think you need him for that leadership. Even though he's not the best player in the team, he just brings even though he's lost 2 finals in a row, he has that winning mentality, because he's one of the only players in the squad that's won a trophy with the team.
You
can't sell a player like that.
Very true. That level of experience you still need in the team. I completely agree.
You can't teach that. You can't teach leadership and experience. It's something you get over
100%
time.
agree. 100% agree, man. You need that level of experience. I just hope that he can at least stick around as a rotational player. Ryan, I want to bring you in, man. What's your thoughts on this whole situation next season with Azpilicueta? I just don't know whether he can cut it in the long run to be the right wing back for us, or even the right centre back in the long run. This season, it is what it is. We continue with him. It's almost the end of the season, but next season will be a new season. We do need to fight for a lot of things. What's your thoughts about the situation? And talk to me about Tino Livramento. I'm not sure if you've seen much of him. Ryan, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, with the Azpi thing, obviously he's a great servant to the club, and I think he's been there 7-8 years. So obviously in the long run or even now, I don't think he can play that right wing back. But obviously there's 2 games left of the season, so he can probably do that for 1 or 2 more games. But in the long run, obviously he can't be our right wing back because he's just not the same Azpi anymore. Obviously he's losing his legs, and you need someone who's going to be able to take on players, beat players, and get up and down. And with Azpi's age, I don't know if he can still do that. I think he can still hold right centre back, but I think for me, it's like I don't think he'll be in a rush to go. I think we can keep him in the team for obviously that experience, and I think he is a reliable player. When you call upon him, he can be reliable. I think it's not always like the last-ditch tackles or him getting back and putting them camera tackles like a prime Zuma would or maybe a Rudiger would. But it's like he's got that experience because when he comes up against wingers, like he done it with Sterling a couple of times. He knows how to take wingers onto the outside to make it harder for them, or to get the ball off them easily, or to track a runner. So Azpi's obviously got a lot of experience. Obviously, he can't play regularly for us as much anymore, but I think it's good to have him in the team. And when you call upon him, he can be reliable. And obviously, Tino Livramento as well. He's a good right back as well. He's a good player in the academy, and I think we should ease him in as well. I think he's a good player. Obviously, you can't just throw him in, but I think with Tuchel, he's good at developing young players as well. Because you might think, what are you doing with these young players, Tuchel? But I think it pays off in the long run. So I think you just got to be patient with Livramento as well. I think he has a bright future. But with Azpi, he can't play right wing back. That's one thing for certain in the long run anyways. I think he can't be our regular right centre back next season. But I think we can keep him at the club, and when we need to call upon him, he can be reliable.
Yeah, man, 100% agree, man, because I'm starting to like Reece James in the right centre back position, and I think he can be.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Talk to me.
We've got 3 players at the moment for this Champions League final that are all good at playing right centre back. First of all, you got Azpi. He's the club captain. He's been here 7 or 8 years. Apart from probably Thiago Silva and Kante, he's probably the player that deserves to win this UCL the most. And obviously, he will probably play regardless, and his best position is right centre back, not right wing back. And then you got Reece James, who's played 2 games at right centre back against Leicester, been thrown in there, and he just looks flawless there. He's looked brilliant there as well. And then you got Christensen as well, who once played right centre back. I think he's really comfortable on the ball, and we look better at beating the press with him there as well. And I think we just look a lot more comfortable. So you got 3 players wanting to play that position. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, to be honest.
No, 100%. Ben, I want to bring you in now. Hopefully your internet holds up, my man. Ben, what do you think about Tino Livramento next season? Maybe comes into the team and then acts as a backup in the right wing back position if we continue with this formation. Even if we don't, I suppose there's a right back as well. Ben, you there? I think Ben's having internet issues, man.
You know what, Miz? About that Livramento, we're talking about, he actually won the Academy Player of the Year, and you can imagine being a right back. He's won that. That's a huge thing. That shows what caliber of a player he is, Tino Livramento. And I think so. The way Thomas Tuchel is going on to this academy games, and he's visiting those boys and watching them closely. I think so he'll ease them in one by one to the team. Now, having known the fact that Anjorin and Livramento, they are all practicing with the big boys, I think so these two are coming into the team sooner rather than later. Maybe the next week, next season, sorry, will be the season. I think so they ease in little bit by little bit. That's where Azpilicueta's key role is for the next season. I think so. If you say that the what role he's going to play, then that depends on what formation are we going to play. Are we going to stick at back three or back four? If it's back four, then I think so Reece James is going to start more rather than Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta is going to just be the rotation one. But
just on that, Ishan, just on that, even if it's back four and Reece James starts as a right back, I do want to see him be a lot more attacking. Do you know what I mean? Like really go and attack well.
You know one thing. Yeah, one thing that I saw in Reece James, right from beginning, everybody is saying about his back passes, and even I was really frustrated and agitated looking at him at his back passes. I think so. The structure started when Frank Lampard was the coach. The build-up play of Chelsea was such that we try to invite the opponent to our box. We try to build up the game from there, and then we try to attack. That's what the build-up play is. Even now, when Thomas Tuchel is playing, but now the difference is we are more organized than what we were against Lampard. But the game was exactly that. We invite the opponent to our box, we try to build up the play, and then we try to attack. I think so that mindset has stayed in Reece James, and that's why he tends to back pass time and time again. I think so that he needs to improve, and I think so he will eventually, if we switch to a back four, will have more attacking mindset, and will once you attack, we attack when it's a back four situation. So I think so that can be developed with the preseason under Thomas Tuchel, and he can work on that. And that's again where Azpilicueta role comes. He have to. We know that when he goes in front, he's a very skillful player. He knows where the players are. He is aware of the situation there. He knows when to cross. He knows when to pass. He knows when to back pass, and that's what Reece James need to learn from Azpilicueta. Also, Tino Livramento will have a huge learning from Azpilicueta, knowing the fact that he's the club captain. He's been there holding that position for years now, and Tino Livramento, I think so he'll be the support guy. If we see Azpilicueta departing from the club after a couple of years, maybe 3-4 years or so, Livramento would be the guy who supports Reece James in that position. And if we need to play a wing back or a back three in future, then these both guys, James and Livramento, can complement each other just the way Azpilicueta and Reece James are complementing each other now, and they can excel both. So I think so this is the role of Azpilicueta and Livramento and Reece James. All these three will be very crucial in the couple of years to come.
No, absolutely agreed, man. Well said, Ishan. Ankilesh, let's get your thoughts, man. I mean, Tino Livramento, do you want to see him next season be part of the squad? Obviously, he probably won't start, but learning curve to be in the the starting sort of squad. And do you see that maybe Azpi gets less and less minutes as carefree tactics? Ryan said as well that Christensen could be a right centre back as well at the moment. So there's a lot of options in the right side. What's your thoughts?
Actually, the thing. Hello, are you audible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, the thing is that Azpilicueta will be he will be staying for a couple of years, as like Isham said, because the thing is that Tuchel need leaders, and Azpilicueta have that quality. So it will be the first thing which we have to consider, and the next thing is that he is not injury prone. He missed only a few matches on all these seasons.
The guy's a machine. The guy's a machine, man.
So that's the second point, and the third point is that when Reece James is defensive minded, and the Livramento is an attacking minded player, and the thing is that what lacks in Livramento is its aerial ability, and it's the only thing which is lacking in Livramento. And in our next season, I guess that Reece James get more and more chances, and Azpilicueta, but he won't be week in and week out. But the point is that he will be staying in Chelsea for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, no, fair point, man. He's definitely go on, Ryan, bro.
I want to say one thing about Reece James's back passing at right wing back. I think at right wing back it gets highlighted a lot more, because when you're the wing back, in a wing back system, there's going to be like a lot more emphasis on you because that's where most of the wits come from, and then the inside forwards stuck in. I feel like why the right centre back position is so good for him is because first of all, he's got Thiago Silva in the middle. So if he wants to take any risks and it doesn't work, he knows he's got someone stationary. And I think there's less pressure on that right centre back. That's why we see Azpi randomly just coming up from there, like how he got his goal against Burnley. But I think because Reece James is a fullback, and when we see Hudson-Odoi play at wing back, he plays as a winger. So the drop off from him and Reece James in terms of going forward looks a lot. I think at right wing back, I think Reece James passes a lot more than if he'd play or as right centre back because there's more emphasis on him and he gets pressured more. So his first thought is to go back. Whereas it feels like Hudson-Odoi or Pulisic, because they're used to just going forward as their natural wingers, it makes Reece James just look very, very, very like back passy. But I think when we switch to a back four next season and we have that right winger in front of him and he gets to overlap and make them crosses, and there's going to be less emphasis on him because there's going to be that right winger as well. I think we'll see Reece James pass back a lot less.
Yeah, man. I'll just get one more opinion here. I'll get it from RCBN in regards to this. And also, RCBN, talk a little bit about the left wing back. The right wing back, I like this commentary from Waz. I think Hakimi would be perfect. So RJ can move to the back three. Obviously, Alex, who gave me the super chat earlier on, also was talking about the left wing back. RCBN, do you feel like, do we need a new player from the market to fill these positions in terms of backups? Obviously Ben Chilwell for me is the number one left back or the left wing back for Chelsea at the moment. But Emerson, Alonso, are they? I mean, Emerson is looking like he's leaving. Alonso, whether he's still a very good, second fiddle, or do you want someone there? And similarly in the right wing back, do you want someone new? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so firstly, I'll start with the right wing back since we're already discussing about it. So I actually don't see any need to buy a new player. I know Hakimi would be absolutely perfect if he's available, but the way Tuchel is playing, like we can clearly see that he's kind of working Azpilicueta to work at the right wing back position. Plus, we're forgetting that Tuchel has not had a preseason yet. And in whatever press conferences that he's had, he's already highlighted like Azpilicueta along with Kovacic and Rudiger are not the guys, you fight against. So Azpilicueta stays. So with him staying and Reece James, we Chelsea fans for sure know that, his crossing ability is probably second to none in the team, right? As in, if he really wants to cross and if he really wants to beat, check out the game against Man City that he had Mendy spinning till date, that's how it was. So I actually see going back to that formation because Tuchel has not had enough time in between games, especially the last 2 months, to try him out. So he just went with a defensive tactic and, going with Reece James' strength and ability, with Thiago Silva being there, able to, control things at the back, and Azpi, having the experience. So Livramento will probably go on loan for maybe first half of the season, and maybe Azpilicueta till the time he fades away, he'll probably come back and take his spot. That's how I see. So
you reckon Livramento loan would be a good move, yeah?
Yeah, because he needs game time. Like he's not had any game time, even though he's training with the first team.
Premier League loan or Championship loan?
Premier League loan will be great. Like maybe a team which is just kind of coming up. Like that would be the best for him. Exactly. So that's what I see the right wing back position. Left wing back, like it comes down to the formation, right? The way that we are set up. Definitely Chilwell is without a shadow of a doubt the first choice. But Alonso, I don't see him fitting in a four at the back. I'm sure all of you would agree, right? He is not a defender, right? He's probably the second best finisher in the team right now, but that's up front, right? I don't want him defending next season. So if in case Tuchel decides in preseason that he's going to go four at the back, he's got to be scouting right now for a left back because Emerson isn't going to be a backup, that's a good boy.
Well, he's leaving, I think. I think he's leaving. Emerson is interested to leave. Yeah.
And Alonso, he'll probably stay for the experience, the Chelsea, thing that he knows about. Only if he continue playing five at the back. Otherwise, he's going to leave for sure. And I'm not sure if we are really linked with many left wing backs yet. Are we?
I don't think we are. What about our player Martsen? I'm not sure if you guys have seen Ian Martsen. I thought he was a very good player. It could have been a
Yes.
very good, solid left back as a backup. Do you know what I mean?
Never really got a
Yes.
proper chance though, to be honest.
Yeah,
He got
never.
like
I think
one
he's on
chance
loan
under
now.
Lampard.
Yeah, he got
Grimson.
one chance under Lampard in the FA Cup. I remember. He's on loan, right, at the moment. Pretty
Who
sure
is
he's
it?
on
That
loan.
League One team. Ian Matson.
Yeah, some League One team at the
He's
moment.
on
But
loan
yeah,
to Charlton.
oh, he's on loan to Charlton. That's it. He's on.
Yeah,
By the
Charlton.
way, undercover. Do you know if he's doing well there? Have you seen much about Ian Matson?
Well, I know he's not playing left. He's actually playing left wing for Charlton.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, the manager likes to play more attacking. I've watched a couple games. Yeah, he's played good, but I think he needs to get another championship loan. He scored a couple goals, got a couple of assists. Yeah, but I think he looks really good. He's got pace. He can pass. He's good defensively as well.
But he's not ready yet. That's what you're saying. He's not ready to come in.
Yeah,
I don't.
Maybe in a couple of years, but I think he definitely needs a couple more loans because I don't think he's nearly there.
Fair enough. Yeah, RCBB, and what were you going to say?
Yes. Yeah, it's probably a left field, kind of choice. But Tuchel in one of the press conferences did mention, strangely, he's forgotten about it, or maybe he didn't consider after training. But Hudson-Odoi on the left side is probably stronger. If you play a left wing back, Hudson-Odoi can be molded in preseason. I don't know. That's a left field choice altogether. But probably getting an attack on one side and Azpi playing, a defensive right wing back. I don't know. That is something that he could try in preseason.
Look, I mean, Callum, the whole Callum situation. You know what? We're going to leave that Callum situation. I feel like we need to have a proper discussion about the Callum Hudson-Odoi because it's like we're trying to fit him everywhere, and I feel like he's far more lethal up front. So we'll talk about that some other time. I think it's a big discussion in itself. Devan, let's get to you, my man. Let's talk about Luis Suarez. Obviously, they've just won the La Liga. Congratulations to Atletico Madrid. But I can't forget the fact that every time I think about Atletico Madrid, I think about Rudiger, how he's grabbed Luis Suarez, and we absolutely annihilated Atletico Madrid. But kudos to Luis Suarez leaving Barcelona, saying that he wasn't appreciated, he was let go, he was old, then goes to Atletico Madrid and wins. I think similarly happened to David Villa as well. He left Barcelona, went to Atletico Madrid, and he won the 2013. What's your thoughts, man? Luis Suarez winning the La Liga with Atletico Madrid.
I think Suarez was not appreciated at Barcelona. He was a Barca legend, I think. He scored many goals. And I think he was a third highest goal scorer of Barcelona.
Yeah. He's been banging in a lot of goals for Barcelona.
His pace reduced very much, but I think his clinicality and lethal attack is very good.
No, fair point, man. Fair point. And at the moment, he's getting. Yeah, go on, Devan.
And Barcelona, I think they thought that his pace is now totally finished. So they thought he's going good, so we can dump him now. But Atletico did a good job.
Exactly. Undercover, man. What's your thoughts, man? When you see Atletico Madrid winning now, does a Rudiger picture come in your mind?
Well, fair play to Madrid. I'd rather Atletico win than Barcelona and Real.
Yeah, true.
I think something new, and I think we did bully them. Yeah.
No, 100%. We did bully them.
Yeah, we bullied
Yes,
them.
I think Atletico.
Go on.
Yes, I think Atletico also. Oh, okay, go on.
No, you can go. You go.
Okay. Means I think Atletico also changed their style. They are not playing on counter now because they know the pace of Suarez is very slow. If they will play on counter, it will not work. So they base their tactics of this season around Suarez only.
And João Felix.
Yeah. I will say though, you see Rudiger, bro, when he runs in that, man, when he's chasing down Suarez, he looks like a man on a mission, bro. He doesn't look like he's chasing there for the ball, bro. He's looking like he's chasing there for the ball no more.
He's looking to chase down Suarez. He wants to kill him.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah, that mask actually suits Rudiger the most.
Yeah, I like the mask. Definitely. What were you saying, Undercover?
I said Rudiger's a very underrated centre back.
Bro, Rudiger, honestly, for me, is at the moment probably Chelsea's best centre back. Really, I mean, Thiago Silva is amazing. There's no doubt about that. But Rudiger is been in a different level, man. He's just
probably one of the best in Premier League right now.
Oh, for sure, behind Ruben Diaz, probably.
I think Lampard treated Rudiger unfairly and Christensen.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. He didn't integrate some of these players, man. Look at Thomas Tuchel trying to integrate so many players. So yes, Ryan, what were you going to say?
I got two things to say. I want to see if Rudiger can do it in a back four as well. I think that's what
I think he can with the right partner.
Yeah, I think with Thiago Silva or with a new centre back, but like Thiago Silva, if they get like a good partnership going on there, and Thiago Silva,
and not just that, right? And not just that, maybe a DM as well. If we get a solid loan DM, maybe it all falls. Yeah, it all falls together. So 100%, man.
the best player on the Tuchel list.
There is a rumor like we are going for 4-2-4 next season, and most probably if Tuchel changed into 4-2-4, the ender scenario will change, and this will help Chelsea to have more attackers on the upfront, and having if there is players who are really good leaders, it will be very helpful for Chelsea next season.
Yeah, no,
especially
with the what I think so. If Chelsea is getting linked to the centre backs, all those centre back rumors, I think so that gives a huge indication that Chelsea is planning for a back four on the next season. Because if they're going for a back three next season, it doesn't make any sense because we've already got.
We need a centre back.
We don't actually. We have many, but then. Just think about this. We are in a back three and where Christensen is pretty much good. So if we go for a back four, I don't think so Christensen gets much preference over Rudiger and Thiago Silva. Also knowing the fact that Zuma is a very good centre back. In back four.
I think AC Milan's getting Tomori though. I think AC Milan's buying Tomori.
Yeah, we've also got Malang Sarr and
AC Milan.
Malang Sarr will. I think he's in.
Mark Guehi, by the way.
Mark Guehi, yeah, man. We don't need a centre back. We don't need a centre back.
He's played in the Championship.
But we are league.
If we can keep Thiago Silva, that would be the absolute dream, because the amount of centre backs we've got right now that would develop under Thiago Silva.
And that what's it called? That 6'5" Mbayamba in the under 23s.
Actually, Mbayamba is a raw product.
We are blessed. And just what Ryan said, Thiago Silva is, I think we're going to hear the here we go from Fabrizio Romano, that Thiago Silva has signed the contract extension, so he's staying. So he's staying 100%.
That's for sure.
Give his wife 1 year as well, man. Give his wife.
I've seen
bro, his wife is something else, man. Wow. No, honestly.
I've seen a couple of academic games, under 19 and under 23 of Chelsea, and I've seen that centre back Mbuyamba. Man, he's a beast.
He's so good.
He is a beast. Nobody gets through him. Nobody gets through him. He's good in headers. He's good in one-on-one. I think so. He's a tank. I think so.
He can pass the ball with both feet as well.
Yeah, he's good at passing his balls also.
And he's Dutch, really like Van Dijk. Yeah, I think he's Dutch, right? Mbuyamba is Dutch.
Yeah, and on the ball, off the ball also, he's really strong. I mean, he'll be really good. And if Thiago Silva is there to train him and to teach him things, he'll be he'll be a next big thing.
The thing is, as well, Mbuyamba can also play in midfield. So I think that's a thing that teachers should look at. Yeah, he can actually play in CDM.
That's brilliant, man. That's brilliant.
Look at that. Instead of buying like Declan Rice, I think you should actually look and play Mbuyamba at DM.
Nah, fair point, man. Fair point. We honestly are blessed in centre back position, man. I don't want any more new centre backs to come out. I don't understand why we are looking for a centre back. We've got Mark Guehi, as you said, Mbuyamba down the track in the future. So there's a lot of things going on, man. And with Thiago Silva staying, Rudiger playing like a monster, Christensen being good, Zuma in a back four. I think Zuma's probably going to get sold.
Even if you won somebody, the question is, who do we lose? That's the question.
I think Zuma will go. I don't think Thomas Tuchel fancies Zuma too much. So I think Zuma might go.
And even Soul is the guy, right? Sorry. So Nicholas Soul is the guy that we're linked to. Will probably be the tall striker, the tall defender. Sorry. So that is the one that we're linked to, because we don't have many tall first team defenders, right? Real tall people. So
Yeah, linked with Rafael Varane.
Yeah, we're linked with Rafael Varane as well. Linked with Sule, but I don't know, man. I'm not really interested about Sule.
Yeah, it's not so.
He's Bundesliga Maguire.
Ethan Ampadu has played at centre back for Sheffield United. He's actually very good.
Which one?
Will surely go to Manchester United.
Oh yeah, Ethan Ampadu. There's another player of ours, Ethan Ampadu.
He's actually very good.
There's too many.
I think he's another loan move. Because I think he could actually play centre back for Chelsea.
He could probably play even DM, honestly.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
DM. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap things up. We've been streaming for an hour. It's been a massive, massive conversation. It's been awesome fun. I've loved it. We literally had about 10 people on at once. Slowly, I'll let each of you guys go. Before I let you go, what's your Twitter handle so everyone knows, so everyone can follow as well? Just give us that shout out.
William RJ7.
Do you mind putting it on the private chat as well? That way everyone can see.
Yeah, I already have.
Brilliant, my man. I'll let you go as well now. Thank you so much for your time. Hope to see you again next time.
Yeah, you too.
Take care, man. Take care. Devang, what's your Twitter handle? And also put it on the live chat as well if you can.
I'm not using Twitter.
Are you using any social media?
No, not frequently.
Fair enough. All right. Well, people don't follow Devang. Don't worry about it. Just come and meet Devang here in this channel. Devang, thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you.
And finally, thank you for giving me a chance, and please like and subscribe.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you so much. Ankilesh, do you have any social media that you want to plug?
Yeah, of course, Twitter. UCL Champions 21 is my Twitter handle, and we are gonna crack that. We are gonna get that. UCL Champions 21.
Brilliant. Make sure you put it on the live chat as well, Ankilesh. Thank you so much for your time. Hope to see you again. Yeah.
Thank you. See you.
Take care, my man. Ishan, my boy, what's happening? Give us you're on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'm on Insta. Follow me on Ishan Bhadra25. I'll drop the link in the chat box.
Do it immediately. Honestly, guys, please follow Ishan. I love talking to Ishan, and you're going to see a lot more of Ishan in this channel. And obviously, when we have these Talk with MIZ shows, Ishan's always going to be there. Ishan, thank you so much for your time, my man.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much, Miz.
RCBN, my man, has things, and give us your the YouTube channel name and your Twitter name. Yeah. Put it into the live chat as well. But talk to us.
So yes, guys, so as you can see, I guess, so I'm called RCBN Chelsea Fan TV, and that's what I'm called on YouTube. It's a newish channel, so please follow me. On Twitter, it's ANK, that's the first three letters of my name, Ankit, followed by 30784. I am on Instagram as well as RCBN Chelsea Fan TV, and Facebook as well as RCBN Chelsea Fan TV or Ankit Rana. Yep, that's it. Thanks, Miss, and great talking to you guys. Have a good one.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, my man. I'll catch you around soon. Take care.
Sure. Take care. Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a brilliant show we've had. Please smash the like button if you've enjoyed it, and follow all my, the people that have joined from live chat. Please follow them, try and seek out and connect with them. As I said, if you've enjoyed this, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Tomorrow is the match, so we're going to do a pre-match. So before the lineup, about 10 minutes before the lineup, we'll start a pre-match show. Then obviously we'll talk about the lineup, and it will be a live call-in again. So I'll let all you guys come in and talk about that. So please look out for that. And and then post-match, obviously, we'll have the review. Do stick around for the review post-match. It'll be the last time that we're going to be in the Premier League for this season until the big one in the Champions League. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.